All right guys, welcome back to the one-off collection, and today we are actually not talking about cars. Many of you guys have DM'd me asking me about the art in my office and some of the cool shit that has made this place I've built in Boca Raton, Florida so unique. And so I've decided today, instead of taking you through a tour of cars, which you've already seen 100 times over and you can certainly look up anytime you want, I've decided that I'm going to take you through a bunch of the art and the cool things that are here from various places, all put together as this giant toy box. So this is kind of front of the office, and I use this more as a wow factor thing with a bunch of art from the very corners the moment you walk into this transformer. This is from Califano, around like the Las Vegas area. They basically have these shops where they do metal work. They also do precious stone work. This is the medium-sized Bumblebee. Super cool. They're roughly in the 20-30 grand range. Really cool kind of like metal art. Not really valuable in terms of resale or anything, but cool. On this side we have a Wispy. This is the new cool thing that's out there. These are quite expensive actually. They can go upwards of 100 grand. This one is an original and it's been here on display because I love it. Yeah, I own it. It's not like consignment or anything. I don't consign anything, so anything you see in my office is really like my stuff. Nothing's necessarily for sale. Our regular arcade with all the Marvel vs. Capcom and X-Men video games. Just nothing more than a bar here. On this other side though, I'm a big collector of KAWS. This is the Promise one, which is really cool. These are all originals. I love them. I collect them. I try to get them very early because they go up in value. Here I have literally a duplicate of every single car I own. Now they're not all here, they're between the house and the office. You'll see everything from my Countach to 918 to the actual models of the Lamborghinis I've ordered through the years. These are two bare bricks you can buy anywhere. Depending on the ones you get, they're anywhere from 500 to 1,000 bucks, sometimes 2-3 grand, but generally cool looking. This piece of art is actually one of my favorite. It's the Batman that when I was actually poor, I walked through a place like similar to Times Square and I ended up seeing this Batman in an art gallery and it was 5 figures and I couldn't afford it. So I looked at it and I thought this was the best interpretation of Batman from my experience that I had ever seen. It had kind of like the shadow aspect of Batman himself. I thought it was really cool. When I got rich enough, I had saved a photo of it, and actually Instagram helped me locate one because the guy had retired. He no longer painted them. We got him out of retirement, got him to make one so that I could actually own one. So on this side, you'll notice that in my conference room where I have meetings for business and so on and so forth, I have my two favorite philosophers, Carl Jung and Nietzsche, face to face. The two individuals that if you follow my books, you know how passionate I am about philosophy and consciousness. These two individuals have had the most impact on the field of, in my opinion, being conscious as a human, and so their work is highlighted. I took what I consider to be my favorite quotes from these people, like we're not what happened to us, we are what we wish to become, and so on and so forth, and I've asked the artist to kind of put them like together and just kind of give me somewhat of a portrait of both facing each other here. Now, something pretty cool though, because Nietzsche's work is very closely related to my work. He talks about the Uberman in his books, and the Gate of Choice and the trilogy of Third Circle Theory all the way to Gate of Choice is the ultimate concept of actually how to become the Uberman, which is why the Gate of Choice logo was imprinted here into the actual piece of art. So my favorite quotes, my favorite two people in the world, brought together just by a special commission piece. Marinello Designs builds these really cool art pieces like this F1 car. Nothing really expensive or anything, just a really cool thing. It was actually a gift from a friend of mine, Hunter, who owns a dealership across the street. The Hermes and Chanel bears, you'll see the Chanel one later. These are commissioned by Platinum Motorsports over in LA. Super cool guys. They're one of the best body shops out there for custom body work. So shout out to them for making me this and the Chanel variation. Very high quality, very well done, large bear brick. Much more exciting than the tiny ones in terms of like making the office really work. This is by one of my friend's wives, Lena Katz, who happens to paint stuff. I thought she always paints really nice stuff. This is actually my favorite artist of all time, James McQueen. Originally went to London and saw a James McQueen original for 30 grand. I thought that was really incredible. I really liked his work because it was a giant piece of art like this that said, happiness is expensive. And I was like, well, it sure is. And I was like, how much is that painting? They were like 30 grand. I became obsessed with his work, so I started buying a ton of his originals. I have them all over the office on 2 levels. I have them at my house. This is kind of different short stories he's done separate paintings for here all in one. I'm a big fan of his work. I have a lot of his stuff, so you'll kind of constantly see it around. This is just painted by my friend Marlon. He's done kind of my life story on the wall. It started here from being poor to my first job, to the youngest banker in America, to my first Lamborghini, my first investment company, and all my online companies, all on these walls. So you'll kind of get a glimpse of the story if you ever visit the man cave. And outside of that, well, throughout the man cave, you'll also see little nuggets or quotes right here behind you. You'll see it says, "No man ever steps in the same river twice, for it's not the same river and he's not the same man." Throughout the man cave, I've included quotes like these to help make it kind of like just more exciting and somewhat inspirational. So now here you can see our giant rift, 10 foot tall, about 3,000 pounds, surrounded by the Bentley Ducati and the STO Lamborghini Ducati. On this side, we have Hound, the larger one, 3,500 pounds roughly, 10 feet tall as well, next to the military green Lamborghini Diavel. I mean, the cars you've already seen, nothing special. That mural is the largest anime mural painted. It was all painted by hand by Marlon Prutz. Took about a month and a half. Really, really beautiful piece of artwork. It's tattooed on the wall, so you can't take it. We have a second one right there. You can see it, that encompasses the car logos, anime, and everything in between. Some of my favorite artwork in this place is not necessarily incredibly expensive, at 5-6 figure artwork is right here with these 2 lions. I'm a really, really big fan of the lions because I think that they're just something that represent power, and I like how very simplistic color changes can make such a drastic difference. And then one last thing that I think is cool, right here you'll see it says, "What would life be if we had no courage to attempt anything?" Now, just because you guys are here, I'm gonna give you a preview in just a second, because I'm gonna go ahead and open this door, and the new Revuelto finally came in. I believe cars are art, so I've recreated my Revuelto again, redid the wheels. I wasn't satisfied with how it came out, so I went all in and just basically went with step 2. We'll see it here just one second. And the final piece I was telling you about is right there, which is the number 5 Chanel Bear Brick, which is pretty cool and complements the man cave really well, again from our friends at Platinum. And one of my favorite quotes in the world, "Art, the only substitute for an experience we ourselves have never lived through," is kind of the motto here in this building, other than my motto in life, which is beauty will save the world. But here's a cool thing, and let's see if you guys, without using Google, can tell me who actually wrote this. "Nothing is too beautiful, nothing is too expensive." It's a famous quote, underrated. A lot of people don't know about him. So I would love to know your thoughts, if you know off the top of your head, whose motto is that and why is it special? So if you're ready, let's see my new Revuelto and how it came. Guys, so there you have it, the end of our very small art tour. If you want to learn more about exotic cars, how to drive them for free, and certainly put yourself in a position to own the nicest cars in the world without actually having to lose money, and actually get the perspective from an owner's garage rather than just a spectator, just make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and of course, like the videos. It helps us get more people discovering the power of exotic car hacks and our community growing further. And if you want to join Exotic Car Hacks, the link is in the description. It's one click away, and I'll catch you next time.